this is what I'm looking for when I'm sifting. That looks like a little tiny flake. It is. See how this is the base clay and there's a little pocket in it that's filled with rock and stuff? Now look over here. Do you see that looks like a flake of flint right there too? No, it's a leaf, but there was one flake in there. This is where the arrowheads are laying. There's a find right here. It's a musket ball. Look at that. That's pretty nice. It's a fired one. But that's pretty cool. Got a musket ball. It's got some corrosion on it, but that's decent. You see all the stuff laying out in the water, the rock and stuff right on that base clay. I'll get back if I see anything else. Yeah, I got this softball. It's a brand new and it washed up, but I got something right here. Thought it was a coin at first, but I think it's a button. And this is that river crossing site where I found that gun flint. Some big boat waves have hit this and the water dropped, and there's laying right here on this black sand right here. Looks like a shank on the back of it there. You can see it. Yep, it's a little flat button. Didn't look like it has nothing on it. But man, that's an old button. But let's see if I can see all the old crockery in here and the old brick. This would be a great place to multi-detect. I should have brought my multi-detector today. I didn't know the water was going to be down this low. See, here's a piece of basalt glazed crockery here. I found a gun flint in here. See, here's another piece, and there's some real old pottery there. I saw a cobalt blue crock. See, there's another piece of a crock right here. There's just crocks and stuff everywhere, but that's a pretty solid little find. Somebody would be happy. This is an old site. There's Indian stuff here from thousands of years previously, plus there's colonial clear up into the 1860s. I think this is a river crossing site, but I'll get back if I see anything else. That's a solid find, a real old button. That's from probably the early 1800s. Later. See right here, I found that button right up here. Here's the piece I saw with blue on it. That would have been a beautiful salt glazed crock. Look at that. Here's a breaking point right here. I'll just put this in this video. Right there's a flake too. Look at that stuff, man. Put that in my pocket, but look at this base. Snapped off here. It's real pretty material. Real ground base on it. Pretty damaged. Yeah, right here's a tool of some kind that looks break there. Yeah, it's a blade. That would have been pretty nice. That would have been big. Looks like it would have been about that long. This is just surface hunting, folks. I'll do some sifting. The water's down. I can sift here in these places where I'm finding stuff laying out. Alright, here's my last screen. Several flakes, and right here is a broken point. It's in a little Amos. You can see the serrated edge here on the left. Would have been a nice one. The base is snapped off in the tip. Later. Well, I knew I was going to find something in here. The water's down. It's usually up to there, so I'm sifting where it's underwater. I'd say 90% of the year. You can see right in here is the bottom wash line where you can see where the waves hit up in there, and it sucks this stuff down. And I like to wait till the water's down so I can really see what I'm doing. And the screens have looked great. I have a whole pocket full of flint. Man, do I have a nice pentagonal. Look at the cracked up fire rock. There's fire pits coming out in here like you wouldn't believe. And I haven't even looked through the rest of the screen. See how this rock, here, let me get another couple pieces. All of that rock in these screens is Indian. See how it's red and blown apart? It's been heated around campfires anciently. Man, this pentagonal looks good, and it looks like it's translucent material. It's right here. It's nice. Look at the classic pentagonal tip. Wow, that's a nice Ahia pentagonal knife. Man. I might just put this in this video because I'm gonna find other stuff here. I'm gonna stay a while. But look at that resharpening. It's got them spurs on both sides. The material is beautiful. That'll go right in my pentagonal frame. That's a beauty. Can't beat that. Come out and get a nice point. Well, I'll get back. I'm gonna keep looking later. You know, I walked right by this. I must have been looking in the water. Right here's a breaking point. I was going back to get my kayak. Oh, it would have just been phenomenal. Look at that. That's an Amos. Oh, that would have been one of the best ones of the year. A barge was going by, and I'd say right when I was coming through here, the waves were coming up. Oh, that's sick. Well, I just found this and I'm going back to get my kayak, my motorized kayak, to go up where I'm digging because it's way down the river and I don't want to leave it down there. My phone's down there and everything. And walking back, I find another point. I'm stuff, but man, that point there would have just been, it looks like real high quality upper Mercer. It's got lightning lines across it here. Oh, that would have been nice. But that pentagonal was awful nice. The material is beautiful. And the form is just classic. I will show it in a book after this. Other ones, it's like 6,000 years old, 6 or 5, right around in that age, middle Archaic period. But this is early Archaic period. Later. Alright, these screens look good. There's black canal chert flakes all in them. There's cracked up fire rock everywhere. It's a heck of a layer, and I'm gonna find more stuff here. Here's what I got in about 2 hours here. I found a really awesome copper spoon yesterday, and I'm gonna go home and finish that video. I gotta clean it more. It's awesome. It's got an Indian on it. It'll be my previous video to this. But man, that's a shame. That's real high quality. It looks like upper Mercer gray variety. That's an Amos. Here's another broken one. I got this broken knife. That's Brush Creek chert. Would have been nice. It would have been longer. It's one of those Amos knives, but the tip's gone. It would have come down. It would have curved more and been straight on this edge. That would have been nice. Here's what a lot of these points are made out of. Look, that little gray one's probably made out of something like this. It's a river cobble pebble chert, broken open. An Indian held this in his hands, and then you'll get these little flakes that are off pieces like that. That's like this. That's the river cobble. See, it's flaked off and they were making an artifact. Alright, here's some of my finds from this first part of this hunt. I came to film, you'll see this awesome spoon I dug in the dump and cleaned up. It's got Sacagawea. If you like stuff like this, make sure you watch my last video. And I found some bottles and stuff too, but that's the best find. It cleaned up beautifully. But after I did that, I went arrowhead hunting and I came up with this stuff, and I got this laying out, this old flat button. It didn't have anything on it, but it's a cool find nonetheless. It's old. It's early 1800s. My hand's cramping up from digging. Here's the little, that's an Amos. You can see the serrated edge, but it's damaged. Here's the base I found. It's nice material, but it's got a base neck and it's, as you can see, snapped. Not a, you know, this stuff's thousands of years old, so some of it's of course going to be broke. Here's this smoker Amos. Look at that Cousteau material. It's translucent too and glossy, but it's broke, and it's an ancient break. You can even see the translucency on it right there. Look at the edges of it. It's just a piece of awesome material. That would have been a heck of a nice point. You know, it looks like a Kirk, but it's an Amos. Looks like a Kirk corner notch, but it's an Amos point, and it would have been, look at this edge coming up. This thing would have been big. It would have been double that size, probably up to a needle tip. But I got this smoker pentagonal, and when I say it's classic, it's classic. They usually put, you see in this book here, pentagonal knife, mid-archaic, 6,500 to 4,000 years before present. You can see some of them here, and look, you can just see look at that one to the right there. It's just classic. It's just classic. The base, look at the notches and the base line up. It's a classic one, and it's nice material. That'll go right into one of my pentagonal frames. And I'll show you this too. This is a piece of Brush Creek chert. And this would have been one of these Amos knives, but it's busted. It's kind of uniface. It would have come curved down like this and been kind of straighter on this back edge. It's a shame that's break. It's kind of rough, but it ain't bad. But a success on this hunt. And I really like this. Make sure you go back, and that's Lewis and Clark and the monument, and there's a waterfall there. And then on the back, it's the state of Oregon, 1859, Mount St. Helens. There's more sequoia trees, and look at the fish. And Sacagawea. Look at that. That's a pretty cool find. It sure as heck didn't look like that when I found it. It was corroded green. But thanks for watching. I will go back to this spot after I'm done with this video and sift tonight, and then I'll probably sift some more tomorrow, see what else is there. So make sure you subscribe, and I will get more off that site. Thanks for watching. Man, this thing was laying dead on the shore. Man, that's a big wasp looking thing. Look at that thing. Man, it's huge. It was laying right here in the wash. I'm going up here to sift some more. I'll get back if I find anything. I was going to put some of these clips in this video on my last video where I was dump digging, but I decided I had enough clips, so I'm just going to do all these in one video. So I have to be kind of selective of what I do so I get more videos. But I'll get back if I see anything later. Alright, I knew this stuff had to be here. I found older stuff on this stretch of the river, and the bank above me's at least 20 feet high, straight up and down. It's coming off like this, and all that time the bank used to be like this, slanting to the river. So let's say this was a cornfield, and it was plowed. You're only going this deep. When they put the new dams in, it raised the river from Indian times, and this hill's just erased, and everything, all the occupation levels over thousands of years are falling right off and laying on the base clay. And this is a continuation of my finds. I had to get home and work on a video where I found that Sacagawea copper spoon in a dump and some of them bottles. I put on a dump digging video, and I was going to put the first half in that video, but it was getting too long, so I decided to just make one arrowhead hunting video. I'm right back on this spot where I was sifting, and I got a serrated Amos point. Do you see it? It looks pretty stinking nice. It's right here. Oh man, look at the teeth on that thing. Needle tip. Oh man, this is what I'm looking for. This kind of stuff right here. That barb sharpened off too. It's sharpened down a little bit. Oh man, those serrations make it. Look at that. Just one for them big frames, and look at that material. A big tan spot on the base, going a tan spot on the tip. Wicked serrations. Look at that. It's a 9,000 plus year old piece too. That's beautiful. Polished base. The notches are polished. That's a nice one. Alright, I'm on the board again. Look at that, folks. Whew. That's pretty stinking nice for one of them huge Amos frames. Later. Alright. Man, I'm on the points. This is a place I'll find like 30, 40 points in 3 days. I'll get a bunch of videos out of it. I'll maybe find one more on this one, and then I'm going to cut it off and start another video. But do you see the point? Looks like nice material. It's not a bad point. It's right here. It's real polished. I'd say that's a table rock. Look at the material. Most of them I find are made out of real nice colorful material, and that's nice material. It's glossy. It looks like Coshocton maybe. Upper Mercer. It's got little fossils in it and stuff. It ain't bad. It's a little above average, but it's nice enough to frame. You can see that barb's just completely sharpened off. It's kind of exaggerated on one side. That's not bad. It ain't bad. I'm doing good. The new kayak really paid off. If you want information on them, go to mokai.com. M-O-K-A-I. I'll put a link in the description later. I just got this in the screen. Look at these facets on this. It's broke though. That might be a banner stone or a celled or something. I don't think that's a faceted piece of hematite. I'll show it under the good camera. Look at these facets. It's tool grade hematite ore. They use these for making paint, but I don't think that's what that is. It's exploded. Later. Still going to town in here. I got a big tool or something. You see it? Looks like beautiful material. It's right here. It's a big crude-like knife or something. Look at that material. Look at these quartz inclusions. Kind of rough, but it's still cool. Might be a preform for an arrowhead. Look at that material. I'll show you this with a good camera. That's crazy material. Imagine a big serrated point made out of that with all these little white swirls on it. Man, there's a bunch of stuff in here. There's arrowheads and artifacts everywhere in here. Just every screen I'm finding something. It's gonna be a good month later. Yeah, I got a bunch more flakes. I just got another artifact, just a knife. You see it there? It's right here. That's pretty nice. It's a little preform for a point. You can see right up in here this color change. That's the cortex of the river cobble chert right there. You can see a little bit more of it right here where they've peeled it off around, but that's not bad. It's an artifact. I'm gonna cut this off now. I'm doing real good in here. The kayak paid off. I will be able to come back here and find a bunch more stuff in future videos. I will get back with another video in 4 or 5 days, part 2 of this. So thanks for watching. I got some good ones. That's Amos Point. I'm really happy. There might even be more stuff in here, but we're going to start a new video. Thanks for watching. I'll show you that Amos Point up close next, and Squirrel Man will be on here too. Later. I guess there'll be one more clip. I started sifting down that screen. I just found that knife in, and there's just oh, look at the material. It looks like green translucent jasper, and it's got a big red spot on it. It looks like a Madison point, but it almost looks like it has light side notching. It might be some kind of Brewerton thing, but man, it's fire popped apart right there on the base. That would have been a scorcher little point, that color. Look at that. Holy smokes, that's nice material. Later. Alright, I'm back from the river. I'll give you a look at some of this stuff I found. I found a whole nother bag of stuff too for a future video. I can only put so much in a video, but look at these little quartz inclusions. I should wet this, but you can see them. You can see them a lot better when it's wet. That's pretty nice stuff. Here's that piece of faceted hematite. Look at the facets on that. I would have liked to seen what this was. It's broke up though. You can see all the rubbing on it. See the facet right in there? You can really see this stuff good with this camera. And there's the broken off piece. Look at this little point I found. Look at that material. It's real. See how translucent it is. Imagine a big serrated point like the one I found. Look at that thing back here. We'll get to that in a minute. But imagine that made out of this red and green translucent stuff. Look at that material. Look at that. I have points made out of it with the red and the green, but I think that's some kind of little mid-archaic point, and it's fire popped. It might be a Madison, but you can see right there at the bottom it's got a slate notch, and it might be some kind of shallow side notch like Brewerton type thing. Here's this other point. It's kind of rough. It's a little above average. It's decent. It's just, you know, average, I'd call it. Here's the knife. That's a pretty nice piece for what it is. You can see the cortex of the river cobble right there. Another piece of it right there. That's the outside of the river like stone, and on the inside's the chert they got to work it. It's got that kind of chocolate covered cortex. And well, this wasn't the find of the trip. I found other stuff that was pretty awesome. But look at these serrations in the needle tip. It's a classic Amos. One barb sharpened off, but it's still awful nice. Look at that tip. Look at that color right there. The tan base, and you know, these points look a lot like Palmer's and Kirk's, some Kirk serrated points, but they're Amos points. They're over 9,000 years old. Look at them serrations. These are wicked. Pretty pleased with that. But I found other stuff, and I'll be continually going back. There's good layers to dig, and it's a multicultural site, so it's hard to tell what I'm going to find. Thanks for watching. I'll be back at it, and I got another video being held back. That's a smoker. Look here. Squirrel Maniac's in his cage because he's been just being terrible. Waking me up, but he's got a whole pile full of stuff up here. Let's see him go to town. Here. What's this right here? You found it. Tell him you love watermelon. Those Squirrel Maniac's loving that. He's ate half of a watermelon in 3 days. Tell him, Squirrel Man. Well, it's been a good couple days. Hope you enjoy the clips. I found a good bit more stuff today. I'm going to put it in a future video. I didn't want to just throw it all in one. Probably go back in the next couple days and I'll hit that dump again where I found that spoon in another dump I dig on. I'll just keep the treasure hunting videos coming, so make sure you subscribe. I'll get back out as soon as I can. I've been trying to go every day and look at least a minimum of 2 hours. I've been looking per day, and most of the time all day. Here he is. This is my pet squirrel for you new people. Here, you better get it or I'm going to eat it. He loves watermelon. It's his favorite. He's got pear and kiwi there too. He'll eat that too, but he always eats a watermelon first. He'll eat all that. Look at him. Well, anyway, thanks for watching, folks.